Hi guys! So I am super excited today because I have created a brand new tag for the beauty community to enjoy, and I think this is one of the best tags that have come out in a while. Not gonna lie, I seriously actually am surprised that the beauty community hasn't come up with this tag already because it's such an awesome idea, and I know that I'm not the only person that opens up a palette and says, okay, this palette would be perfect if, or why don't more neutral palettes have this color in it, or why did they leave out this color? Like, I always feel like I could put together the most perfect palette, and I still have yet to find a palette that's absolutely perfect. So with this tag, I thought it'd be really fun for us to kind of create our perfect ideal palette that we would want for every day, for travel, for, you know, just our lives, just like the perfect palette. But there's a few rules that I decided to make for this tag that you have to follow, and you only get to choose 2 highlight shades, 2 crease colors, 2 lid colors, 2 outer V colors, and then 2 bonus colors. And then you also have to choose out of all of your palettes that you own what layout and what packaging you would choose. So all the information and all the rules are going to be in the lower bar if you do want to do this tag, but I think it kind of makes it a little bit more interesting and gives you a little bit more limitations. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share with you guys what my perfect palette would be, and I'm going to start out with my 2 highlight shades. So first I would start off with my Sigma Resort palette, and this has the most gorgeous highlight shade in here, and it is this color right here called Luna, and it's a really pretty kind of golden white color. It kind of reminds me of Albatross by NARS, but a eyeshadow version, which I love Albatross by NARS as a highlight. This is just like the eyeshadow version of it, and I love that it has gold flux to it. I think it looks good on so many skin tones. It's just a really awesome, unique highlight that I absolutely love, so that would be my first choice for highlight. So my next highlight actually comes from the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, and I think if you have a shimmer highlight, you have to have a matte highlight as well, and Foxy is one of my favorite matte highlights because I feel like it's not pure white, which I really don't like pure stark white highlights, and I think this is like the perfect creamy kind of yellow based highlight, and it's matte, so you could use it for under the brow, and I just think it's a really good basic matte highlight. I love it. So for lid colors, I wanted to choose kind of like mid-toned colors because that's usually what I wear on my lid. And I have a favorite color, and it's from this Sleek palette, and this is the Storm palette. I am obsessed with this palette. Like, this is probably one of my favorite palettes, and actually in this tag I have 3 eyeshadows from this palette in this tag because it's amazing. But one of my all-time favorite lid colors is in this palette, and it's actually a pink color, and it's this shade right here. It's like a rose gold pink color, and it's very unique because it's a very wearable shade of pink, and I don't normally wear pink eyeshadows because I feel like they can make you look kind of sick or tired a little bit if they're too pink. But this is, like I said, wearable, and it's a rose gold pink, and it just looks really cool on your lid because it gives you like a warm kind of look to your eye. I don't know, it's really unique. It's one of my favorite lid colors, and whenever I use this palette, it's literally what I go to for my lid color. So, okay, so for my next lid color, I'm gonna go with Retro Speck by MAC. This is the most gorgeous shade for your lid, and whenever I do brides, there was this one wedding this last summer that I used this color on every single person on their lid because it looked so amazing on every skin tone. It just, I feel like, gives, it's a nice neutral shade, but it gives color to your eye. I don't like it when lid colors are too nude colored because I don't like it when you can't see them. And I feel like this one is really natural and really neutral, but at the same time you can really see it on your lid, and it really gives like a nice pop. So this next color is Crease Color, and one thing that I get so bugged about with neutral eyeshadow palettes is the fact that they don't have plums, and plums can actually be extremely neutral and look extremely natural if you get the right shade of plum. And if you go on like the redder side, the warmer side with pinks and reds, it can make you look a little bit sick, a little bit tired. But if you go on more of like the brown plum side or more on like the cooler toned plum side, it can look super natural and super just like neutral on the eye. And before I ever started YouTube, plum eyeshadow was the only color that I ever wore in my crease. And actually on my wedding day, I even wore a plum crease color. And one of my all-time favorites is Sketch by MAC, and it's just a really pretty kind of brownish brownish plum color, and from here it looks brown, but it's actually more of a plum shade. So this would definitely be a crease color in my palette, and I think it is probably one of the most perfect plums that I have found on the market. It just looks good on so many people. Alright, so next on my crease color list would be from the Sleek palette again, and this is the Storm palette, the same one. And there's a really nice brown in here that is very unique. And like I said, I kind of like unique shades and palettes, like colors that I don't have already in my collection. And I feel like the brown in this palette is very unique. And it's kind of like a coppery, it's right here. It's kind of like a copper brown, so it has a little bit of like a copper undertone, which I don't normally like coppers, but in this particular shadow, it's a very wearable copper brown shade, but it's just really unique and really wearable. And I had it on my eye the other day with the pink on the lid. Perfect combination, I loved it. Alright, so next on the list is outer V's, and with outer V colors I tend to think of darker shades, just to like darken up the outer V area. And one of my all-time favorite outer V colors is Shadowy Lady by MAC. And this is an extremely dark, almost purpley navy blue color. It's way darker than Sketch, but it's also more blue, which I think is really, really unique, and it's a really good alternative to black. So if you're somebody that wears a lot of black eyeshadows, this is a really cool color because it's so dark that it kind of like is similar to black, but it's not quite black. Alright, so my next outer V shade comes from the Naked 2 palette, and I used to be this humongous fan of Carbon by MAC. And lately, or recently, I've started to realize like that eyeshadow isn't that great and it's not even that black. But I wanted to put a matte black in this palette because I love palettes with blacks, because I feel like they're so versatile. You can use them as eyeliners, you could use them as outer V colors, you could use them to completely smoke out your eye. I feel like there's so many different ways that you can use matte black that every palette should have one. I would choose Blackout from the Naked 2, and the reason I like this is because it's super black. It's probably one of the blackest eyeshadows that I own, and it's just perfectly matte. It has really no shimmer in it, maybe a little bit of shimmer, or maybe that's just from the rest of the palette. I think it's completely matte. But it's just a really amazing black. Alright, so next on the list is bonus shadows, and these shadows kind of could be anything you guys want. So if you wanted to put some color in your palette, you could do that, or if you, just whatever eyeshadows that you want to put for the bonus shadows. So for my first bonus shadow, I decided to go with Pistol from the Naked 2 palette. And the reason I like this is because it's unique. You could use it, like it's a nice medium toned shadow, so you could use it on your lid if you want to do like a silvery smoky eye. You could also use it in your crease if you're doing like a lighter shade on your lid. I think it's just a really versatile color, but at the same time it's a unique color. It's not brown, it's not champagne, it's not black. It's kind of like a silvery gunmetal, which who doesn't like a good silvery gunmetal color? I think everybody does, especially like over a nice black base. It can look really cool. So for my last bonus shadow, I wanted to choose something for my eyebrows, and one of my favorite things when I get palettes is when there's a color for your eyebrows, because that way when you travel you don't have to bring an eyebrow shade, and it's just nice having a nice eyebrow shade for your palette. Also, I like eyebrow shades because they're always matte, and I feel like a lot of times palettes are overly shimmery, like all shimmer, and there's only like 1 or 2 matte shades, so I wanted to add another matte shade in case you didn't want to have too many shimmer colors. So I would choose this color. This is again from the Storm palette by Sleek, one of my favorite palettes, but it is the matte brown, and it's a nice middle toned matte brown. It's not too dark, it's not too light, it's just a nice like mid-toned matte brown, and it works really well on my eyebrows, but you could also lighten it up and even use it on a blonde if you want to do something really light. If I could choose any way for my palette to be packaged, I think it would be this. The reason I like this palette is because it's durable. I love how durable this thing is. I like that it's made of metal. I love that it's easy to travel with. The eyeshadows never feel like they're going to fall out or break or anything like that when you travel with it. And I also really love that there's a giant mirror. That makes the palette awesome, especially if you're trying to do your makeup in an airplane or a hotel room or something like that. And it also came with a brush, which is also really nice. And I like how all the eyeshadows are lined up. I think it makes it look really clean. You can really kind of compare the colors. This is my favorite packaging for a palette that I own. I just think it's really durable and really awesome. So this would definitely be my packaging. So this is my swatches on my arm of what my palette would look like. And I think these colors just work really well together. I think you could do a lot of different things with them. I think they're all really wearable, and they're all kind of unique a little bit. So I think it would be the most perfect palette. I would love to own this palette. It would make a great travel palette. So I hope you guys like this tag video. I think it's really fun, and I really hope to see people do this. Of course, everybody is tagged. If you do videos, just tell them that I tagged you, because I really, really want to see you guys do this. But specific people, let's see. 11thgorgeous would be fun to see. Dulce Candy, Rachhloves, Forever Yours 0727, April Athena 7, Jackie, Jaaackjack, and who else? Come on, brain work. I can never think of people when I'm actually trying to tag people. Like, I never can. I don't even know. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to check out my Twitter, Facebook, and my vlog channel. And I think that is pretty much it, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!